Hello, folks. Welcome to another episode of the Soccer Way podcast. Today, we are going to continue with our review of Premier League clubs. This is the part two of the reviews. Part one is already in our website. You can listen to it at the soccerway.net. To begin with, we will start with Liverpool. Liverpool are the current Premier League champions. They have a squad boasting of many stars. But to begin with, the game week one has not been as dominating and predictable as you would expect. A 4-3 result with Leeds United, recently promoted under Bielsa, and it was an entertaining match, and it could have gone either ways, but luckily with Liverpool this has gone their way and they got 3 points, and to be honest, their form has not been so good for the later game weeks. Anirban, what do you think is Liverpool's situation right now, and what do you think of the games they have played this season?
Yeah. Good afternoon, Sunny. Hi, Soccerway. Thanks for having me again. Yeah, Liverpool, the defending champions. So uh, it's a good one. So they are all again looking to be I would say finish in the top two at least. But this is a weird season, so it's difficult to predict where they will finish in the end. So as we all know, they have uh, injuries in the defensive department, so that can be a big headache for club. But with the
Yes.
forward quality they have and the understanding they have with the forwards and with the addition of Diego Jota, so I think they are also looking very strong again. But I think again the absence of Van Dijk will hurt them. So I would say they would finish in the top two, but it will be ups and downs in Liverpool season. It will not be a smooth season, smooth sailing at all.
Yeah, it's not been a smooth sailing for either of the clubs, and more so for Liverpool. Any other result which or players which are going to turn the tide more in their favor, Mainak?
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, Sokove. The problem was never about attack. The attack was never a problem for Liverpool. Only the problem remains. If you see the match that they played on 4th October, 7-2 was the result against Aston Villa, who just anyhow survived last season from the
Yes,
relegation.
yes,
We can't expect that from a team like Liverpool.
yes,
Even though Virgil van Dijk was very fit in that match, but
yeah,
still the result was 7-2. So the problem lies somewhere else. Not that we cannot we cannot give such excuses that Van Dijk's missing, TA is also missing because of cuff injury like that. We cannot give such excuses. If we see the score line 7-2, shocking. So Jurgen Klopp has to work on his defense. Anyhow, we have also seen him experimenting Fabinho as a makeshift centre back. So I hope this gets sorted out as soon as they can. And Diogo Jota has been a good addition for them so far. And he has Klopp even tried him as a number 9. If you see the Champions League clash against Atlanta, I guess Klopp even tried him as a number 9 in place of Bobby Firmino. So I guess that paid off. That even paid off as Jota netted a hat trick that time. So
right.
yeah, the last few results have been well quite good for Liverpool though. The 2-1 win against Sheffield and a 2-1 win against West Ham as well. Though it was a comeback win.
Right.
But a 1-1 draw against Man City, I think the Liverpool fans will take it.
Yes, we have seen some hiccups from Liverpool and a shocking result, like you pointed out, Mainak, 7-2. A team with which conceded very few goals last season, conceding 7 in a match with their first team fully fit, is really surprising. Moving on to the former champions, and to be honest, many would say they are the title favorites this season, Manchester City. Even they have a surprising results this season, and a big defeat in their own stadium, 5-2 defeat against Leicester City, with Jamie Vardy scored a hat trick. What do you think has been going on in Man City? Have they spent enough money on the defense, or do you think there's more needed for the team, Moinak?
Um, I solely believe that attack has been a problem for Manchester City this time because Aguero seems like he has locked his boots inside his locker room, the goal scoring boots, we can say, not up to the mark. Gabriel Jesus scored a goal last match though, but it wasn't. We don't expect such things from Man City either. I mean, they started off well in the first match against Wolves, defeating them 3-1. But then you come to see, well, this isn't a shocking result because we know the how good a Leicester side has become over all these years. But still, 5-2 against Leicester, you cannot take that. And when you're having a manager like Pep Guardiola, it's shameful. Then another, they're struggling for points. They're struggling for wins. Another 1-1 draw against Leeds United. A close, comfortable win against Arsenal, though, but still another 1-1 draw against West Ham. So
Yeah.
there are patches of inconsistency in this team. And I personally don't feel like Manchester City making it to the top four this season.
Yeah. So that's a surprising statement, Mainak, but we will hope Liverpool has more competition on the top. Anirban, what do you think? 100 million spent just this season for centre backs, still not good enough. Still conceding goals, leaking goals almost every game week. Anirban, what do you think is going on in Man City's defense and Pep Guardiola?
Well, firstly, I would say that we are being unnecessarily harsh on both Liverpool and City. So it will be an up and down season. So players
Yeah,
have not have any most preseason break, and there have been two international breaks. I don't know why in the middle
correct,
of pandemics
correct.
with the
Yeah,
first 2 months. So and so it's Premier League after all. So anybody can bet anybody. So I strongly disagree with the statement that is a shameful loss against Leicester or it's Aston Villa. So it's not like that. Every team has strength, and then on their day, anyone can beat anyone. So also, yeah, uh, it's nothing to be ashamed of. This is not a two-horse race anymore. The results will be like that. And coming to City, I think we have discussed this in length in our preview of Premier League podcast that
yeah,
after spending mind-blowing amount, especially in the left back position, Pep is yet to get his personnel right. I think he has a strategy in mind, but he has struggling with getting the personnel right. But hopefully, with the addition, stable backline of Laporte and Ruben Diaz, he will have his defensive combination right. And so, like Moinek correctly pointed out, so the goal scoring has been a problem, but that's mainly due to injuries. So I think Aguero was, I mean, dragged back too soon from injury against Arsenal, which was maybe not required. Now again, he's sidelined, and Jesus is good, but he is also inconsistent. So yeah, the big burden is on Sterling and Mahrez.
yeah.
So yeah, City will have to pull out the goals from somewhere, or they have to look for a striker in winter window. But I still believe
Right.
they will. They are the one most likely to give competition to Liverpool for the title race because they have the best squad depth. So again, I think they will finish in top three. But whether they can be a champion, that depends on how soon Aguero can return and how good a season their main player De Bruyne has.
Right. You make a very good point, Anirban. This season is going to have ups and downs for almost every club. And Moinak, I think Aguero has not played enough with his knee surgery to really make a strong goal scoring run in the team. So
Yeah,
let's
yeah.
hope it.
Yeah, sorry. So I'd just like to, yeah, like as we say in football, so nobody has the divide right to win. So just like giving blanket statement that this loss is shameful or that loss is shameful.
Yeah.
That's not going to do anything.
Yeah. So moving on to the red half of Manchester United, who would some would say had a disastrous couple of game weeks to start with their Premier League season. September 19, game week 2 did not have a game week 1 due to their run in the Europa League last season, even shorter uh, pre-season, and starting at Old Trafford, they lost 3-1 against mediocre Crystal Palace side. What do you think, Anirban? Do you think Manchester United have it enough in them to continue their previous season form, or do you think they're going to fall back in the Premier League this season?
I think they certainly have the players to finish in top four. that there's no doubt they have quality players all over the pitch. But I think it's now up to Solskjaer to sort out the correct formation and the correct personnel. I think the form of Pogba has been worrying this season, so he has not been able to achieve. So now Solskjaer had to think whether he picks his best midfield, whether he picks Van de Beek or he benches him for Pogba. So that's a big problem for him, which is a test for how good a manager he is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he has to get the best out of his players. There's no doubt about that, because as a group, these players are not performing as well as they should be. If they can, I think uh, they are definitely a top four side with the players they have, and yeah, so they need to replicate the Champions League form in Premier
Yeah.
League. So there is no two ways about that.
Yeah. So, and to be honest, that's a really surprising side. They have not won at home yet this season and conceded 10 goals in 4 matches and scored just two defeats against Arsenal and Tottenham Hotspur to be added to that game week 2 results against Crystal Palace. Mainak, what do you think has been Solskjaer's team lacking this season at home?
While it's that time in the league to shift gears for every team, Ole still not been able to control the wheel so far. I personally think what Manchester United lacking is confidence in the players. And I think, on a positive note, I think this side is gonna bounce back pretty soon, because you see most of the Manchester United players have got the international break results have gone for them. I mean, Maguire scored a goal, England won, Scott McTominay netted a penalty, Scotland go through, and you know it's happening. It's quite been balancing for Manchester United players so far. But what they're lacking is, that, as I said, the confidence in this team.
Right.
And Ole trying to make a 4-4-2 diamond formation this time around, because the 4-3-3 isn't working. Greenwood hasn't been in form compared to last season.
Right.
Martial, no, not a proper number 9 as of now. Rashford is showing some potential indeed, and you cannot expect everything from Bruno, right? He cannot do everything. So a 4-4-2 formation, diamond, without Pogba, with McTominay in the defensive side, I mean the CDM, Fred and Donny Van de Beek, and with Bruno up front, I guess this can be the actual formation of Manchester United from now on, with two strikers up front, and that should be Rashford and Greenwood. I say, because Cavani isn't fully fit, and we got all know that he cannot run as much as Greenwood can. He cannot take much workload. So yeah,
Right.
this formation works for Manchester United as of now, and we think the return of Alex Telles will also be quite advantageous for Manchester United in the upcoming games.
Right. So, do you think, Mainak, any particular result which has shown you that Manchester United might bounce back from this, as you said?
Yeah, the result against, I should say, PSG, if you talk about the Champions League. I mean, without Maguire and without their main defender, the team played absolutely top-notch football that season. And the goal they conceded was an own goal, I'm saying. So if we just not think about that, Manchester United actually won by 2-0 if you don't take that own goal. So it has been a good performance for Manchester United in the UCL. A 5-0 win over RB Leipzig too. So I
Right.
don't think this side has the capability of bouncing because it has quality players. Unlike Arsenal and some other teams I'm not mentioning, but this side has those quality players, so they can deliver. Just
That,
they lack some confidence.
right. In my opinion, their previous game week, last game week before international break, the result they got against
Everton,
Everton in
Everton
Goodison
away.
Park
Yeah, that's a very good result.
was an eye opener in my opinion, and you could point fingers at many standout performances. I would say Fernandes is a constant in United, but I would add Cavani showing his experience in that match he did, and Luke Shaw, who's a surprising addition, but I would say he performed his best on that match. And Rashford, as you said, Mainak, was again a standout performer. So, in my opinion, that is actually the sign that things could improve for Manchester United. Now,
I
moving on. Sorry, yes, please continue, Mainak.
I personally think they Yole can try another formation that is three center backs with Lindelof, Maguire, and Luke Shaw, and Alex Telles as a left full back, and Van Bissaka as a right full back.
Right.
He can try this formation because Telles is an absolute baller. He
Tell
can deliver
us
some
in
absolute good
just to
crosses,
your
and Cavani is also there, who's a goal poacher. He can just, I mean, Marshall is not a good header of the ball compared to Cavani. So if Cavani plays, I guess Telles should be that. Telles should be given that role in the left back.
right. To just to inform you, Tellis has been suffering from coronavirus, so his quarantine
Yeah,
regulations
I know.
has not been off. And besides, he's coming from Portuguese league. He'll need some time to adjust to the game. Now, moving on to the next club, Newcastle United. There's a word in Italy. They call and a club which is associated with that word, Pazza. And Pazza Inter, they say crazy Inter because one day they'll Inter Milan is going to drive you crazy with a result against the top team, and the next day they're going to lose against a relegated side. And till date, Newcastle in Premier League has been of a similar club. I'd say opening game week result impressive against home 2-0. You would you would be forgiven thinking that they are going to turn a new leaf after last season, but immediately game week two, a 3-0 defeat at home against Brighton puts pours cold water over your high hopes. So, Anirban, what do you think Newcastle is going to do this season? How have they fared in the previous game weeks?
Overall, my estimation of Newcastle would be I think they will be successful in their pursuit of staying up. So not because of they are playing very brilliantly, but lots of clubs are underperforming heavily. So I
Yeah,
think they will stay up. They were lacking goals in last season, so this season they have added Callum Wilson, whom they are
yeah,
relying heavily. But Saint Maximin also gives them an attacking threat. So
yes,
if even if he plays some matches and grabs some points for Newcastle, that would be huge. So I think Steve Bruce and Newcastle will get what they want. They will stay up, but I don't see them finishing in top half or anything. So I think somewhere between 10 to 15th where they will end up because of their inconsistency.
right. As you said, Anirban, they have added a goal scorer, and Callum Wilson does know where the net is. He scored 6 goals till date, and he's in my ticket. He's going to score more this season. And Fraser Foster, what do you pardon me, Fraser from Bournemouth, whom they purchased along with Wilson, has been a good creative influence. Mainak, what about their results against Burnley at home and the next day defeat? It's been a seesaw results for them this season, Mainak.
Well, inconsistency lies everywhere in this team. We can show. I mean, from the starting of their campaign, they started off well, the 2-0 win over West Ham, but then a 3-0 win against Brighton at Albion at home was out of nowhere.
A 3-0 defeat, you
Then,
mean?
yeah, 3-0 defeat.
Yes.
Then they faced Spurs with a 1-1 draw. That was a quite good result for them. Then another win over Burnley, 3-1 win. We can expect the next match that was against Manchester United. They were coming up from a defeat, so they were looking to bounce back. So yeah, we can expect that result. But the next match was against Wolves, and they drew it 1-1. But then came the 2-1 win over Everton, which was, I mean, very very good result for Newcastle. But in the last match, we saw they're going down against Southampton. Though Southampton were playing well, but still, every win was followed by another loss.
Right.
So Newcastle have to work on it, and I hope and I believe that they will finish either in 13th or 14th this time.
Right. As you said, Mainak, they're going to finish 13th, and they are in 13th presently in the after game week number 8. Moving on to the next club, Sheffield United. Last season's wonderful season in the Premier League, just promoted and finished in the top half, and for a long time contender for Europe. But this season, in my opinion, they haven't really added anything to their squad in terms of players, and it showed in the first 3 game weeks ended in defeats, and with them without scoring a goal. They did manage to score a goal against Arsenal in Emirates, but it ended in a 2-1 defeat. And they're still without a victory in the Premier League and the only club to be in that position. Rock bottom. And what do you think, Anirban? This is going to be their season to go down, or they're going to have an uplift in results?
Yeah, unfortunately for Chris Wilder and his team, so I think this would be the season where they are going down. Uh, because although they have added Ryan Brewster from Liverpool, but I don't see them getting much goals. And so they had a certain strategy last season. Their center backs were joining attack. They were using their height advantage. But once teams have figured them out and crowding their penalty box, so I think they will struggle to score goals, and they don't look as organized as defending going behind Chris Wilder looks out of ideas. So unless there is
Right.
a
Yeah.
managerial change or anything, so he has done very well with this team. But I am afraid it's time to go down for Sheffield United, and maybe we'll see what they can do in
Yeah.
Championship next season.
Yeah, you make an interesting statement, Anirban. They have been found out by the other clubs, which is exactly what it is. And to be honest, they have 1 point in 8 matches, a draw, in which the opposition had 2 goals ruled out. Mainak, what do you think about these results? Are they going to improve, or do you think they're going to go down this season? Something of West Brom. Last time they dropped with just 5 points in the board in the first half of the season.
Well, I don't see them getting a comeback from here. It has already been 8 matches so far, and Chris Wilder doesn't seem that he has a backup plan, a plan B. So I guess the managerial change could just somehow, I mean, change fortunes, but it won't. I guess I believe so. Though they have players, that these players perform pretty well. As Sheffield finished at a very good position last season. I think it's seventh or eighth. So yeah, they did pretty well. Well, what I want to talk about their result. They started with a 2-0 defeat against Wolves, then another 1-0 defeat against Aston Villa, followed by another 1-0 defeat against Leeds United. Then came another defeat against Arsenal, and by 2-1. And then, as you said, the only point they got from against was against Fulham, a newly promoted side as well, and the 2 goals were ruled out in that match too. So, and the last 3 matches, well, I guess pretty tough teams, I reckon. Liverpool, Manchester City. Still, we saw Sheffield showing some intent in the early minutes against Chelsea as they uh, led the match by 1 goal, but then conceded 4. So yeah.
Yeah, and what do you think about Ryan Brewster? They have signed him as the only player they could strike in the striking department to give them the goals, and somebody Klopp rates highly. But do you really think they have been able to integrate him to their playing style? He doesn't seem to be a well suited in their style, which involves lofted balls in the box. Mainak.
Well, if you go back few seasons back, you will see Renato Sanchez, who performed pretty well for Portugal in the Euro Cup, was signed by Swansea City from Bayern Munich, but he didn't perform. So for me, it seems like the same kind of a transfer. Ryan Booster cannot do anything all alone. So yeah, the whole team has to deliver. I don't see Sheffield doing much, and I feel like they are going to be the last team this season, finishing last.
Right. Okay. Thank you for that, Mainak. So to the next club, till after game week 8, till date, they have been a top 4 contendant, and their last 5 matches reads win, draw, win, win, win. And Southampton has really been flying this season, 5 victories in 8 matches. Mainak, can you tell us any results which points you to the fact that they might continue to have a good, decent season and challenge for Europe?
The result against Everton attracts me the most. I mean, the way they ended Everton's winning streak. Previously, we saw they have the potential as they drew against Chelsea 3-3 in the last match. They didn't have a good start though. I mean, 2 losses back to back, 2 defeats. They started off with against Spurs and Crystal Palace. Then a win against Burnley, a 1-0 win. We can take that. Okay. Then came a comfortable win, the first comfortable win of the season against West Brom by 2 goals to 0. But their win against Everton was the turning point in this league. Then they even defeated Aston Villa by 4 goals to 3, who were also enjoying the winning streak though. So yeah, it has been a good season for them till now. Let's see that if they can continue their good work.
Anirban, Danny Ings has been fine in fine form as we would expect, but anyone else in the club who's having a standout season?
Well, I think Che Adams, his
Yeah,
striking partner. I
that's
think,
true.
Hasenhüttl from his Leipzig days, I think he preferred 4-3-3, but in Southampton, he adapted the Premier League this season, especially to have a more 4-2-4-4-2 kind of formation, which is becoming kind of narrow. So, and it is paying off. So, as you can see in November, Southampton was temporarily top of the table. So, I think his high pressing style, which is his own, and with the caution he needs to in PL, he was exposed against Tottenham in it is probably first or second match. So I think he has adapted very well, and midfield, even although they lost Højbjerg to Spurs this season, but their midfield pairing Romeo and Ward-Prowse has a pretty good understanding. So I think
Yeah,
result, they have a set
correct.
team, but only problem I see, they have lack of squad depth. So that's a key thing that's gonna be part of this season, theme of this season, where if you have good squad depth or not. So I think they will fall off in the second half, but I'll still believe they will stay up very comfortably and maybe finish at 10th or 12th spot. So all credit goes to the manager and the boys
Yeah,
of the first team at least.
you're right. And Ivan, they have a problem with squad depth, but you also pointed out to the performance of the midfielders Romelu and Ward-Prowse. Their manager seems to have turned Ward-Prowse into a more box-to-box presence, which he presses the opposition midfielders more than last season.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
he ended up in England squad. Otherwise, he
yeah.
was too much of Henderson than actual box-to-box player, a static midfielder, which England does not need right now. So that's credit to
England
the
already have Henderson for that role.
yeah, they have Henderson for it. So all credit to their manager. Now, going to Spurs, I know you guys must be really looking forward to dissecting Jose Mourinho's team. But in my opinion, the result and vindictiveness of Mourinho can easily be pointed and game week 4 result against his former club, Manchester United. 6-1. Were you surprised by that, Anirban, or do you think it was coming, looking at Manchester and Mourinho's previous club results?
By surprise, do you mean was I surprised that Mourinho will tactically outcoach Solskjaer? No, he is a
That's not
veteran coach. He has,
surprising. Yeah,
he has. I mean, with due respect to Solskjaer, but
yeah,
yeah, United were underperforming, and Spurs know how to get best out of Son and Kane partnership.
hmm,
Mourinho knows he had this. I think we discussed this in detail on our transfer podcast. I
yeah,
was wrapping up. I was wrapping up I was wrapping up Spurs and Mourinho, but they have signed the correct players, which suit Mourinho's style of running and pressing and everything. So,
right.
and we are seeing Kane in a new role. So
Right.
I think they are doing well under the Mourinho, who is a master technician. Everyone knows they will grind out results like I think Burnley, and they have 2 back-to-back 1-0 results.
Yeah.
I think they will grind out. But only thing what I was seeing other day, they are constantly outperforming their expected goals, and at some point it is going to catch up for them. So I still believe they will they will surely finish in top 6. Whether they can cement their place in top 4, that's thing to remain seen. But with Mourinho, it's certainly possible. But it's an unpredictable season after all.
Yeah, you're right. But I would just like to add game week 4 results 3-0 winning against West Ham. They ultimately drew 3-3. So, and it was repeated again away to West Brom a couple of game weeks later. Mainak, what do you think? The defense still needs work with the signing of attacking players and midfielders. They have added Regularly and Doherty were more into overlapping than actual defenders. What do you think, Mainak, of their results and their performance this season?
Well, I don't think they need to work on that defense that much because well, it has been a good season for them so far. Or 3-3 draw against West Ham, if you are saying about that, I'm saying that West Ham performed very good rather than Spurs defense. If you say Spurs defense performed poorly, I won't agree with that. I should say West Ham performed very well because the Manuel Lanzini screamer, no defender, no goalkeeper can catch that. You cannot catch that. So yeah, they performed pretty well. That they had one clean sheet so far, though, but still a bit if and buts remains. I hope they have a pretty good squad. They win against 2-1 against Brighton, then against 1-0 against West Bromwich Albion, then 6-1 against Manchester United. So I guess, and they also have a proper bench strength. I mean, talking about Gareth Bell
Good point.
and Son Heung-min, Lucas Moura.
Yeah.
No, they don't need to work on their defense, but they have to be a bit well. It's kind of a reality check for them. They can still do great from here, and I expect them to finish at least 6th, if not the Champions League spot.
You make a good point. They have very good bench strength, one of the best in the league right now, and they might be in the top 4 this season. Going to the next club, West Bromwich Albion, recently promoted, lying in relegation places after 8 game weeks. Like they're like the clubs below them, Burnley and Sheffield, without a win this season. What do you think this season is going to be the end for West Brom? Just the one season on top? Or do you think there is something in them to help them stay up, Mainak?
Well, I personally think they are going down. Sad for them, sad for us. But yeah, West Brom are going down. The Lions are going down this season because then no good, well-known players in this team. Some interesting young talents, yeah, that's for sure. But still, if you see their performance hasn't been that great. The 1-1 draw against Brighton, and and they played a good match against Chelsea. They had a great match against Chelsea though. 3-3 draw against Chelsea was good. But still, the performance hasn't been up to the mark till now.
Yeah, the
Losing is Fulham.
performance against Chelsea is more down to Chelsea's defense imploding as usual than West Brom being
Still, you
any
have to great
better
credit
than
to the
before.
attackers. The attackers of West Brom in that match. That's for sure. But still, if they perform kind of similar, just they did against Chelsea, I guess getting. They're not getting promoted this time. They're not getting relegated this time, rather. But I don't see that happening. So yeah, 19th position finish from my side.
Right, but Anirban, don't you think relegation certain clubs need one thing to help them stay up? They need to win against teams who are contenders along with them for relegation, and West Brom has not been doing that this season. So Anirban, would you like to add something?
Well, yeah, right. You said, Sunny. So they are convincingly beaten by Fulham 2-0 in Craven Cottage. So
Yeah,
that's a big point. They are not
yeah,
winning even the games, must-win games for them. And I don't think it's necessarily down to Bilic, who looks a man lost of ideas. So, but it's rather the board. So
Right.
West Brom, frankly speaking, looks like a championship team playing in a
Yeah.
Premier League, and these results will be expected. They will get thrashed every now and then.
Yeah, you're right,
Yeah,
Anirban. They
they
look,
they have not added in their squad firstly, and although I think they have sold their most experienced midfielder Ahmed El Ghazi, and
yeah,
so that's gonna hurt them. And I don't see them batting a miracle. I don't see them staying up.
yeah. The pandemic has not been kind to West Brom. They have not been able to get their finances sorted, and their season on top might not end too well for them. They currently look like a squad, like a house on fire. So we can all assume that they are favorites to go down. Going to the next club, West Ham have been impressive in their three victories this season, but they still seem to have some defensive frailties. But I would say that they have been impressive in some of the matches. Even in their defeat against Arsenal, they have been really good. So, what do you think, Anirban? Their result against Wolves, especially 4-0 in game week 3. Anirban, do you think West Ham is going to do worse this season, or are they not that good yet?
Uh, we all know David Moyes is champion of punching above his weight. That's what he did with the Everton squad for almost a decade.
Yeah,
Uh,
correct, of course.
so I think he has added some attacking players to this kitties, and Bowen and Suchek both are delivering. That's a good thing. But again, whether they have the bench strength to sustain that fall season, but it's good. We can now see some attacking patterns in their play. The Cresswell fullbacks are joining in on the
Yeah,
attack. So I
yeah,
believe they will get some good result and they will comfortably stay up. Whether they can push into top 10 like Wolves, I'm not sure. So because of their lack of bench strength, but yeah, they certainly have some good players in their starting 11, and yeah, Michel Antonio's goal scoring form will play a huge part on them.
yeah, right. So going to the next club, Wolves, European. They had a long season in Europa Liga last time round, and they do have some genuine good world-class player in their squad. But in my opinion, the club which has a owner which is heavy-handed, which is apparent by their transfer dealing this year, it's Wolves, because they have sold some of the players which played extensively last season and added players which were strengthened the positions which were not required, like Semedo, the right back position, and Ait Nouri, interesting young French player. But they still seem to have a lack of depth in defense, and some of the results. You might say, Mainak, that the pandemic has been not been helping them with the results. As you said, ups and downs with all the clubs. But some of the results, like 4-0 defeat last season, you would never imagine something like this with Wolves. And even with their performance against Manchester City, you would say that they are still a very good club, but not as good as last season. What do you say to the results and performance of Wolves, Mainak?
The absence of Diogo Jota is clearly showing. And, they perform well. It has been quite average kind of a performance from them. 4-0 defeat from against West Ham. It's it was very devastating. If we talk about Wolves' perspective, the 3-1 defeat against Manchester City too were lacking some quality in their attack. So yeah, it has been, and as you said, they didn't need a right back as they bought in Nelson Semedo. Well, I personally believe that it was a good buy because the Matt Doherty left for Spurs, so they needed a quality right back. And we
Right.
have seen that they and Nuno Sanchez prefer a wing-oriented play. So Nelson Semedo can deliver for this team with a full fit Raul Jimenez up front. But yeah, the absence of Diego Jota is clearly showing up. You can just expect, I don't know, Foden and Neto to deliver.
Yeah. So, Anirban, would you like to add to Wolves' performances this season?
Well, Yeah, so well, we all know that Nuno Esposito has a specific way of playing this counter-attacking football, and he also likes to use his uh, close squad, closely knitted squad. I think last season Wolves used least number of players in Premier League. So this season that would be a problem because of the crazy fixture list this season, and yeah, he has to rotate his players, and also the formation is kind of something where he has to think about a lot. So players are good. There is no way, but I think teams have figured out the way, the directness of Wolves play, and they are more careful in transitions, so that Wolves and Adama Traore's pace cannot hurt them. So that's something they need to work on, whether they stick with three at the back or go with conventional 4-5-1 with only Jimenez up top. So lots of things to Nuno to think about and sort it out. But thankfully, uh, they have got the player, and they still have got the time already in this season to turn things around. And I believe they will again comfortably finish in top 10. But how far up they will go, that's only depend on the consistency and how many players Nuno are going to use in his Premier League campaign this season. That's going to play an important part because he doesn't like to use many.
Yeah, but he is a visionary coach when it comes to formation and way of play for his team. So we can expect
Yeah,
Wolves to do well again this season.
yeah, sure.
So that's the end of the review part of Premier League clubs this season until game week 8. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. And just to add last few words, Mainak is a new addition to our podcasting fraternity, and he has recently written articles about the Premier League review of club by club review of each club in the Premier League. I hope you guys enjoy it, reading it in the soccerway.net. So that's it for this time, and I hope you guys enjoyed our part two of Premier League club review. So I would like to wish goodbye to Anirban and Mainak.
Yeah, yeah. So
Goodbye. Thank you, everyone.
yeah, thanks, Mainak, for joining us, and we are certainly looking forward to read your articles on Soccerway. Like Sunny said, please go ahead and capture his blog. So thanks for joining with us today.